let's talk Love Island producers and this video that they sent over to Casa Amor. For some reason, the Love Island producers do not put an emphasis on their cast mental health. It is about views, creating a controversy above all. And I know they have their therapists on hand should they be needed to counsel and give whatever the cast need. That's just them crossing their T's and dotting their I's. It's semantics, okay? It's awful. I was already just disgusted with the Hannah Marco's ex coming, and this was just so unnecessary, I think, and just unfair. It gave people just a like, again, like, some of these people are in vulnerable states. Now, again, KK obviously is in a vulnerable state. When you watch her, how she moves, some of the things she says. Now, to try to push her to a brink, and again, we're talking about people in an isolated space where your feelings and tensions are high. You're being sleep deprived. You're being put into so many different situations. Like, why do you want to break her self-esteem? Break how she feels as a person. And I know some people may say, of course, because she does own some of this. So, but you also don't have to be backed into a corner either. And so I am disgusted by just what they did. I think it's also awful for people who have really been trying hard to create this narrative that they are doing something wrong and kind of leave it at that. And I know obviously something else may happen on Sunday, but just the whole notion of it, from the Marco ex-girlfriend to this, it's just giving disgusting. Like, really, like, why? Because, I mean, again, it's going to sell us out. People talk, it's going to come out. But to do it that way and to lie and be manipulative, when you see people on the brink. Now, these people also, we know, because y'all know I'm always talking about this isolation, but also we know when they come out, they have to deal with fan things. They have to deal with, their own insecurities that you may already have going in that are now amplified because you have people looking at you, criticizing you. And we know that we've had some people in the years past unalive themselves. That's what you have to say now. Unalive themselves just because it can be that overwhelming of an experience. Why would the producers want to add anything to, pushing you to a breaking point? Because, a lot of these women are young, and even you don't have to be young to have insecurities, but, you're just coming into yourselves. And to make it more than it are, because it's already a lot, because, again, you are in this space and you're spending so much time with these people. So you really kind of become just kind of codependent upon one another. So to do that is just absurd, and I hated every bit of it. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I was so glad that they rallied together. KK and Hannah, I was so glad that Hannah, you got to let them know who you are. I do like that she kind of came to her and just really, was there for her in that moment. Same thing with Cassie. Cassie trying to figure out, because I know who F'd who, because I know that's Leo. So she was going to figure that thing out, and she already knew. She knew without saying who had slept with Johnny. She knew. And Hannah had already peeped out that it wasn't Marco's ex. She said, no, honey, that's the one with the blood. No, that wasn't her. But I like that she was not letting that moment define, because she's like, I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do, and I'm going to stand by my word. And I respect that about Hannah. I like that. So, but we're going to move on from that, because that took me. I was pissed. I was just, what sick editors or producers would do this to y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, because that thing there was pissing me off, okay? Whew, okay. Now, speaking of who F'd who, Leo sleeping with that girl, and I'm so glad Marco said it to him. So you sleep with the girl, then you act confused on who you're going to bring back or what you're going to do. How? How are you confused? You went that far, but you don't know what you want to do. Come on, Leo. I've been rooting for you, baby. Come on. I've been talking about your honesty. And I guess you are being honest, saying you don't know what you're going to do. But these are things you figure out before you do that. And Keenan still acting like he don't know. The decision, baby, has been made for you. He keeps acting like He doesn't know what he didn't, he didn't do anything, so he's still trying to decide because he's trying to do the right thing. You have already crossed lines, paths, and boundaries that has the point of no return. You think we can't see you under these sheets? Like, we see you. Everybody sees you. You think somebody wasn't going to talk? Come on. Okay? Kenan, you got to stop. You got to stop. It's just time to go. Because if you're not going to just do it, do what you do. Fine. But you got to stop this whole lying to kind of will somebody in to try to keep KK. So as much as I hate, and I'm still, because I'm not going to justify that video for nothing because it was wrong. But what I will say about the video is KK, I think it took her out of that trance that she was in and slapped her in the face to say, like, look, you're better than this. Come on. Like, I don't care if you thought you were the scum of the earth. Like, the scum of the earth don't deserve this. Like, have just some dignity and pride about yourself. Don't let you out here sleeping outside. And yes, after he did whatever he did, he, then came outside and now he's trying to be, no, boo, we already saw you. Like, again, you've crossed boundaries. And, especially if there are already issues before Kenan. Come on. So, but you put yourself where you're out doing the right thing. You're not really trying to connect too much, which I guess, whatever, because it could be said the testing is okay. But you really tried your best to be respectful for somebody who didn't give you any respect at all. So, in that case, I'm glad it came out the way it did. Now, Leo, sleep on that girl, come on. You decided. Cassie and Mattia, like, I like them. And, I'm interested to see once she kind of puts it together, because I do believe she really put it together, what that is going to do for her. Is she going to stay? Is she going to choose Leo, or is she going to, I think she, like y'all said yesterday, I still think she should at least bring Mattia back and have him as an option. If she's smart, she'll do it. If she's playing her cards right. And we know that she's about playing the game and getting whatever she wants. And, sometimes that has made me initially not like her. But, in other ways, we're coming around. We're working our way around, Cassie. Okay. Lord. Destiny falling asleep in the hideaway. Destiny falling asleep in that hideaway was it for me. I know some people say that she has a connection with Zay. I don't see it. I think that he seems to be nice. But her behavior, girl, come on. Like, it's your chance to connect with somebody. It's your chance to and I would say, I know sometimes stuff can be editing. I do know that. But she also did say she fell asleep. So, I don't know. Again, like because she did fall asleep. She said she fell asleep. She fell asleep, and I just felt like that was disrespectful, because it was actually a chance to really get to know one another. And what she said before she went was it's a chance for us to really sit down, get some time away, and you did not take advantage of that situation. Now, she could have been sleepy because, again, we do know that the producers do whatever to manipulate situations. They will sleep deprive you, and maybe she saw that soft, fuzzy bed, and she said, honey, I'm going to sleep. Now, that's fine, but that's the same thing that got Emily sent home, because you can lounge around and do whatever and go to sleep at home. This is about pushing through and trying to get connections, at least just trying. But that there spoke volumes, and that's not effort, not there, not when you have the real opportunity to really connect and get to know one another. And I can't read whether Zay tucking her in was just, like a really nice gesture, kind of sweet, whatever, or if it was just like, okay, so she went to sleep. Fine, I'm not going to try to bother her, whatever. I see it for what it is. We're going to have to just see. But ultimately, I do think that they're going to come back in the villa together, because that's the option that's there. Maybe we will get to see more. But what I've seen, I just don't see it. He does the polite smile. She seems to be, I don't know. Just when she's talking in the conversations. Because we've seen it several times with her where she's doing the giggling and that. And like I said before, I don't know if it's a nervous chatter, laugh, whatever. But it makes the connection harder to see. So, but we shall see, because I do believe he's going back to the villa. So we'll get an opportunity to see a little bit more from them. Bergie. Speaking of connections and lack thereof, Bergie has found another suitor, we know, in Taylor S. And they went to the hideaway. I don't know. Whoever picked these hideaway things, because they must have been told by producers, because it seems so random. But okay, we're going to get into that on another day. So he's in the hideaway with Taylor S. Now, it was interesting. It was interesting. I respect his honesty because, saying like, I don't know, like I'm not the most comfortable with girls. Like I don't kind of know. Now, I thought Taylor, worked with him and did, whatever to try to make him comfortable. Now, whether she's interested or not, that is to be seen. But I do know, like, because I know a lot of movies have been pushed, like Barbie, Oppenheimer, and No Hard Feelings got slept on. And it's just a kind of crude, crass, rated R comedy with Jennifer Lawrence. And I know this is me just promoting it, but I really love the movie. And Bergie reminds me so much of the boy in it. And I can see Taylor S. being the girl where just, I don't want to get a whole movie away. But initially, like, she's not interested. She's with him for a goal because his parents feel like he's not experienced enough and they want him to, be ready for college. And so it just turns out to be a good experience. Now, this is not necessarily movies. I understand Love Island's not that. So this is the real world. So I don't know how that's going to go. But Bergie himself reminds me of the guy. And, he turned out that he really came into himself from the experiences in the end. So same thing with Bergie. I hope that these experiences do bring out something. And I say this because I've seen a lot of ugly stuff about Bergie that I hate. And y'all know I've already been into why, for me, Bergie, that hits a nerve when people talk. Because I think that, again, I don't know. I'm not going to try to pretend to diagnose, but I certainly, if I was a betting person, would say he's a part of the neurodivergent community. Now, me being a part of that myself, I know what that can look like. So when y'all see me saying I like Marco so much, or why is she like Marco? Because Marco is rude. Because Marco is very straightforward and he doesn't lead, like people who struggle sometimes with black and white thinking. Marco is very direct and he lets you know exactly what he's thinking and where he's at. Now, of course, as I've gotten older, I've learned to do better, but as a young adult and as a child, I struggle sometimes. And maybe, it's different levels. So your struggle might not be as bad as somebody else's struggle. But people have been just saying ugly things, calling him a creep or when he did this and that. And I'm just like, wow, like those are just, y'all, I am very cautious. And I don't know if it's being the mother of two black boys, but certain words, like I just don't believe in throwing out certain words with men, period, because words can stick and they can be very dangerous. So calling somebody a creep, I've seen pedophile, I've seen all kind of stuff when it comes to it. And I just think that's so, unless like that's a problem. Especially on a show where we've actually seen creeps be pulled off, have to go, or their past be found out. Like, come on, no. You might not like Bergie, you might not understand certain things, and that's fine. But like some of that stuff is just like, no. And it sucks because like people make the biggest deal kind of sometimes about neurodivergent things or people, and it's not the biggest deal. Like it's simply sometimes you just might be lacking in this area, and while others sometimes in their day-to-day social lives, that they're stronger, they're stronger in those areas. But Bergie might be, and I'm just using Bergie as an example. Again, like I cannot pretend to like know that I diagnosed him or anything, but I do know that, he may be strong in some other areas, and that's just the main difference. And so there's areas of opportunity in social cues and kind of being able to read certain things. So certainly dating becomes challenging. Even when we see some of the challenges, because I know one of the things that came up quite a bit was Bergie seeming creepy in the challenges trying to kiss. And particularly the challenge as the Casa Amor, when it was like, well, he pushed Jonah out the way to get a kiss. Well, when you are a neurodivergent specifically sometimes, and you are a person who is literal, then when somebody literally says that it's the person with the least tattoos and that's me, then you kind of zone in. And it may seem weird to some people because people can say, well, you could let it go. But I know growing up, I would do it. It's got me in trouble a lot of times when I was growing up. And then again, even as a young adult, because it was like, well, I'll be like, well, you said, when if you didn't mean it, you shouldn't have said it. But, people are just like, girl, why would you? So again, I get it. My son is neurodivergent. I believe my little toddler is coming into his. And again, but it's not the worst thing in the world because there's so many things that are great. And even in that, they're social in so many ways, but there are obviously some social cues that I'm kind of like, oh, wait a minute, baby. And so, just celebrating people and not being so quick to judge. That's all I got for today. Y'all let me know. Meet me in the comments. I'm sorry for my little TED talk about neurodiversity and that, but like I really do want people to be cautious because people do have different things going on and they should be allowed. And I'm not trying to promote or push no there, but I do know that people are different in the world. Everybody has something that makes them uniquely them. And I don't want to see anybody be attacked for that. Now, again, recognizing that certain spaces may not be the best for certain people, of course, I get it. But in the meantime, while he's there, I just don't want to see people tear people down online. I hate it. Y'all let me know what y'all think of everything. Y'all let me know what y'all think of these Love Island problematic producers. Let me know what you think of KK. Is she still, I know what she said. Is she really going to leave, though? Is Hannah going to stick by her words because of the foolery that she saw in that video? She said she's going to stand by her word, but are we going to see? Destiny, will she be awake for the next episode to engage? Let's see what happens on the next episode. Leo and Keenan, we coming for you because I don't know what's happening, but we coming for y'all. Y'all better figure something out. Y'all let me know what y'all think about everything. Make sure you meet me in the comments because I talk back. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll chat with you guys real soon. Have a beautiful weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.